What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 183, for Thursday, July the 11th, 2024. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always by Rick and the kid. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Rick, and this is my son. Say hi, Junior. You can't. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's biting one of his toys. My wife got him a bunch of these like plushie toys. One of them's like a fish, and he's like chewing on it.
Like dog toys?
I think it's a dog toy. I think it's a dog toy. No, it's like a little plushie. No, it's like a little plushie. There's like a bunch of like these little like plushie like animals that my wife got him.
Yeah.
And it's not a dog toy. It doesn't. It's like it doesn't have a squeaker or anything in it, but it's like it looks like a dog toy. It's funny because they sell these teething toys for kids that are teething for them to like chew on, and I called it a chew toy. And my wife was like, "Don't call it that." And I'm like, "That's what he's doing, though. It's a toy that he chews on. Ergo, chew toy." She's like, "No." She's like, "It's a teething toy. Chew toys are for dogs."
Yeah,
like,
I mean, all they have to do is just change the branding or the packaging, and you can just sell the same toy to both audiences.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, so what does it matter if it's the same term for dogs? Like,
yeah,
you know,
they're
like
the same purpose.
Yeah, so it's the same purpose. What's the problem? Like, my dog drinks water. Should I not drink water because my dog drinks water?
No,
like, get out of here.
This is the dog water, and this is the human water.
I know, yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm here. You're here. We're all here. Talk about some video games, man. I played a little bit. I played a new game, newish game. That I'm going to talk about a little bit. But you played Zenless Zone Zero.
Wait,
like,
you go first because I'm going to talk about this game for no less than an hour. So.
Jesus, you're
I'm serious.
Like a good hour? Well, I'll leave that right out. So I was playing, as you guys know, I have a wonderful 18-month-old.
Hold on,
I don't have a.
Oh, you were like roboting up for a second there.
Oh shit! Am I good now?
Yeah.
All right, as you guys know, I have a wonderful 18-month-old. So I don't exactly have a lot of time to like. Well, I have time to play games. I shouldn't say that, but I can't sit at my computer and play a game. Like I gotta like play on my Switch or do something in the living room while I'm watching them. So I got back into Diablo 3 of all games on my Switch. That game's still fun as hell. Like it's still fun. It's still a good time. It's a huge dopamine rush. And it's perfect for mobile, dude. Just like open it up, run some riffs. You know, stop your kid from sticking a fork in an electrical outlet, and then like, you know, go back to it. Like it's really easy. It has a pause button if you play offline, so it's super easy. Well, I have my kid, so I played a lot of that. I guess they're still doing seasonal content in Diablo 3, but they're just cycling through a bunch of the old stuff. So that's cool. It gives me a chance to like play through those seasons I might have missed, or maybe didn't get everything. So I'm excited for that. They just ended their last season, so they're going to open up another one in a couple days, so I'm probably going to play that when I have time. I also picked up Megaton Musashi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a new level 5 game. And I didn't play a lot of it, but it's pretty dope, dude. Like, I was surprised, like, the story's told like a visual novel, and it's fully voiced in Japanese, so you gotta read some shit. So if you don't like reading, I'm sorry. But it's a pretty neat story. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a pretty like nice twist in the beginning that sets the stage pretty well. It's a lot darker than I was expecting. The gameplay is a lot of fun. Like it reminds me of like. It reminds me of like. I'm trying to think. Maybe Dynasty Warriors, but even then it's probably closer to like Diablo because you get these like skills, they have a cooldown on them. It's got a skill tree to level up with. I barely scratched the surface of it because unlike Diablo, this game does not have a pause button, so it makes it really hard for me to play.
That's bullshit. I hate
it. Is bullshit. It is bullshit. I fucking hate it. And there's no reason for it not to be because you can play the game offline. So I can understand like if you're online, but if I'm offline, fuck you. Just give me a pause button.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can pause if I put my Switch in like sleep mode. I'm sure it pauses the game, but I don't want to like fuck around with that.
Yeah. Well, you know, lack of pause is a situational disability.
We're gonna talk about that in a bit. I'm so excited to talk about that topic. Like, Especially like now that I have a kid, I can like speak to it a little bit.
Yeah. We've seen this game. Like I think this was in one of the new releases that we looked at, where we've
Yeah.
seen it, and I threw it in my wish list because
Yeah.
is it like this is like a $40 game, right? It's not like full price, but
So it is full price. It's
oh,
like a $50 game.
I think that was why I didn't buy it.
There's also like a deluxe, which is like $70, but it was on sale this weekend. Actually, I think it might still be on sale until tomorrow, or it was like half off.
Taking a look.
So I got the deluxe edition for like $35, and it's not bad, dude. I haven't played a lot of it. Like I said, I barely scratched the surface of what it lets you do. It's JRPG as fuck. So like the first like hour is like cutscenes setting the stage.
It's $25 for the next hour on Steam.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
I think it's 35 to get the deluxe edition, and that comes with like extra robot parts and stuff.
So
But
it's
it's like a mech game.
You can build your own shit and customize.
Yeah. So it's got like it's like Diablo, where after you run so it's actually probably closer to Monster Hunter, because
you get the parts after you complete the thing.
Yeah. So you select your missions from like the menu, right? And you select the next quest. You take it on. After you finish it, you get some items varying in rarity and effectiveness. You can connect those to your robot when you're back at the bay. There's more than just there's more than just like
it's like PSO2. PSO2 is like it looks like PSO2. This scene right here is fucking PSO as fuck.
Is it? I don't know. I never played PSO, so
it's
it's pretty dope. The combat's pretty simple, but all the cooldowns and abilities like give it some depth. Don't go into this expecting like Devil May Cry, but go into expecting kind of, I guess, Dynasty Warriors is probably the closest comparison. But even then, it's like closer to Monster Hunter, because you select your missions from a menu. The missions don't last that long. At least the ones I played have only been like maybe anywhere from like 10 to like 20 minutes. So it's great. I got it on Switch. It does support crossplay, so that's cool. And I'm having fun with it so far. I'm gonna have to play some more of it because I've been told there's a lot more to it than what I got. Like there's like a whole skill tree to like fuck around with. There's more pilots and co-pilots you can unlock too that each have different abilities. And
does it have a cash shop?
So here's the cool thing. I guess when the game came out in Japan, it was either free to play or it had a bunch of gacha stuff. Now that it's here and it's complete, that stuff is gone.
Okay.
There's no cash shop, at least from what I've seen. And there are like daily login bonuses, but that's about it. And there is how could I word it? Like a seasonal journey, and there's a standard and a premium. But because I bought the special edition, I guess I have access to that seasonal or the premium one permanently now. So that's really cool. At least that's how it was described to me. I might be wrong on that, but it's pretty cool so far. Like, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dump some more time into it to really get an opinion. I'll probably have a much deeper opinion next week. But I like it so far. I hope it stays good because I dropped like $35 on it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but to me it is because I don't get a lot of time to play games. So if I drop like that much money on a game, like I better like it.
Yeah. Well, at least this one seems like it has content to back it up.
It does. It has a lot of content, so that's cool.
What's the like multiplayer aspect? You just like do Monster Hunter style?
I think so. It looks like you just run like quests with other people.
Yeah.
Because there's even an option to like drop into like a random quest that's already going. Like it's called like roulette quest, I think, or something like that. You just click on that and it dumps you into like a random quest that's already going, so you can like help someone out. Like it's pretty cool. Like it reminds me a lot of Monster Hunter with the way it handles like matchmaking. But I have no idea if that's like if you and I got together, if we would like stay together, if we would just like play a quest together and then split off. I don't know about any of that.
It looks like straight up PSO2. which is
Yeah.
you form like a party, and then whoever's the leader can just keep picking like quests and missions, and it's just go go go.
Probably. The game is told from like a visual style or a visual novel style, but everything's hand drawn. So the moment story stuff, you're playing as a high schooler because it's a Japanese RPG,
Of course.
and it's all hand drawn. But the animations aren't. Don't go into this expecting like vanilla animation.
Yeah.
Go into it expecting like Scott Studios animation, like the song Sanctuary guys. Like all the characters are all hand drawn, but the models are on like a rig. You know what I mean? So the characters kind of move like dolls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So like old school like Flash, but slightly better. It's all told to like a 2D side-scrolling perspective, so you move around from like area to area. You can go to shops there. If you don't want to fuck around with that, there's a menu you can use to just select for like shops and locations. You don't want to fuck around with the overworld, so pretty neat. I liked it so far. Like I said, I only got like maybe an hour and a half into it, and most of that was just like watching cutscenes. But I like it so far, and I'll have a deeper opinion next week. Maybe we can talk about it more next week because if you're picking it up, we can try it together too.
I just bought it. Before it expired.
Okay, dope. But yeah, that's Megaton Musashi. I like it so far. Pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, now talk about Zenless Zone Zero for like an hour. That's the new Hoyaverse game, right? What's the fucking game that they did?
Yeah. So this is the third big game from Hoyo, and it's like all their games are different impressively. Whereas Genshin is like an open world Zelda Breath of the Wild type shit. Honkai Star Rails is like turn-based RPG, like classic like Final Fantasy type shit. And then this is Persona. And
really? Persona?
Persona. It's fucking Persona. But the combat is like Bayonetta mixed with it's like Bayonetta mixed with like a tag fighter almost. Like
so Scarlet Nexus.
Does Scarlet Nexus do that?
Yeah.
Or like you can
Scarlet
bring
Nexus
like
has like Scarlet Nexus has like you cycle between like 3 characters.
Yeah.
And the 2 characters you're not playing as have hotkey buttons so they can like pop in and do an attack.
Yeah. Except you don't like they don't like assist attack. You straight up just switch to the next character and then like continue like comboing and so
you can do that too. Like Scarlet Nexus lets you do that too. Like it's like a tag fighter. So you can swap into that character, continue a combo, or you can have them do like an assist attack.
I'm gonna see how much that is on Steam because
it's pretty dope. Scarlet Nexus.
What that game was.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like it was on Game Pass. I played a shit ton of it, and I kind of wish I picked it up because I liked it a lot.
It's $10 right now on Steam.
Get the fuck out of here! Yeah, pick it up.
Next 55 minutes. The sale is gonna end on Steam in 55 minutes, so gotta grab these shits before they expire.
I think I would check before you buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you don't have an Xbox. Never mind. I was gonna say,
it was on Game Pass PC for a while, but I think they took it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's on like the Microsoft Store for like $10, pick it up that way, so we could cross save. But I remember you don't have an Xbox, so don't worry about it.
Why don't you just stop getting games on other platforms and just get them on PC?
I could get it on PC if it's cross-buy. I could get it on both. That's my logic. I'm gonna see if it is cross-buy. Anyway, so this game plays like Scarlet Nexus. It sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, if Scarlet Nexus does that, then it's like very close to that. But you know, it does like the Bayonetta thing where, you know, the enemies will attack and then they'll glow, and then that's your indication to do the counter, which is switching your character is how you like counter, or you can dodge.
Oh, that's cool.
But you switch your character, and then it does like an assist attack, and then that character comes in, and you continue comboing, and then it's extremely fluid. It's very fucking impressive how good this game is from a presentation standpoint. Through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, with its presentation. It's super impressive. And they have the fucking, they have that China money. So like they can build something like this and then, it's also like a gotcha game. So I think they I thought I saw a report that within like the first 5 days they already made like 25 million or something. So it's already
Damn.
paying for itself, like. But so like the whole premise is, so I'm gonna try to explain the story from what I understand so far. Is imagine it's like Persona mixed with the Matrix. Okay, so
Okay.
there's these areas in their world called the Hollow, and there's like hollow divers, and the hollow divers go into the hollow to try to scavenge treasure and resources and valuables, but it's very illegal. So they hire, and it's hard to navigate once you're in the hollow. So they hire these guys called proxies, who can jack into like these dolls that are called bang boos, and the bang boos are like immune to the hollow, so they can go in there and they can
That is
see
not
everything.
what they're fucking called. Bang boos?
Bang boos. It's like the mascot character for the game. They look like Fall Guys with like bunny ears.
Okay. Continue.
And then there's a bunch of different ones that, of course, you can unlock with different spins and shit. But but that's what they're called, bang boos. And the proxies can jack in. So the proxies are like the guys that can see the Matrix, and the agents are like the guys that are in the Matrix, and the proxies can like navigate them through the Matrix because they can see the code, and then they can, when they go in, they tell them how to get out. Because the longer you stay in the hollow, you might like turn into a monster and shit, and that's what all the monsters in there are, the people who are like got converted into some type of entity, and that's why it's hostile. So that aspect of it, that part of the story that I just explained, sounds really cool. Because it's like, yeah, it's like the Matrix type shit where these guys can see the code, these guys are diving in, but it's like illegal, so they have to like hire stuff. And then so the proxies, the guy that can see into the Matrix, they have like, it's illegal to kind of do the hollow diving thing. So they also have, and this is where the Persona shit comes in, they run a video store as like a front for their like illegal hollow diving business. And the video store is like a real functioning thing. Like you unlock videos, and then you can put them up for display, and then people come in and buy movies, and then based on what types of movies people are looking for, like everything's categorized like comedy, retro, sci-fi. Like you can put up certain categories, and then your video business would be more or less successful based on what people are looking for. And that's just
now, is that
crazy.
is that like the metaverse from Persona, where like the public zeitgeist like can affect this hollow, or is that like not related?
Nothing affects anything. So that's the thing, is nothing really, like you can do all that, but there's really no purpose other than it generates currency, which you then use to make spins in the shop. And that's all it is.
Okay. Less cool, but continue.
Yeah, well, yeah, once you realize that, like, so everything I'm explaining is cool as shit until you realize that none of it is like, it all serves the one purpose of getting you into the shop and making spins, which is ultimately, that's the thing. So the more you play this game, the more, and then there's so many cool systems in this game that are so basic. So the combat system I explained, where it's like Bayonetta mixed with like Scarlet Nexus, like it's really fucking good combat. But I would say maybe, I don't know, 3% of this game is that. You do not spend nearly enough time actually playing the good parts of this game. Right now, like I'm showing some footage on the stream right now. I've been playing a lot of this. And if I scrub through this footage to show just how much like the combat sections, this like X hour long video is gonna be like combat sections are gonna be like maybe 3.5 minutes total. You do not spend enough time doing the actual fun parts of this game. It is all like menus and dialogue and text, reading text, and fucking unlocking spins and meters going up, and it's like not it's it's like fucking shitty. It's shitty. But don't get me wrong.
That's what I was worried about, like the gotcha stuff, like the free to play stuff, like that's what I was worried about.
Don't get the wrong idea though, because this game is just it's oozing with style, it's oozing with presentation. It is such a high quality product in every aspect. But all of that just kind of serves the one purpose, which is to get you in the shop and like making spins and shit for like all the shit you actually want. Because it's like so far, how many hours did I put in? I put in maybe like 12 hours so far. And it's like drip feeding you all of the mechanics slowly, just adding more shit. And every time it adds another thing, there's another menu, there's another meter that goes along with it, another menu that goes along with it, and then another different type of currency that thing needs to do the thing. So I'm gonna break down in all the ways that you can spend a different type of currency. You ready? Here we go. So there are agents in the game. There are agents in the game. All the agents are the ladies that you can get, and some of them are men too, but they're the ladies. Everyone wants the lady, the shark lady, right? Everyone wants a shark lady. And you got to like unlock all these people. And you do that by making spins. Now, every agent, they have a level, right? So you can level them up. Like you can like the agent level. That needs like a specific type of currency, right? You can level up their abilities. So basically when you go into combat, you know, when you hit the attack button or, you know, the X button or the Y button, they're like different abilities, and you can level up each one of those. There's 4 of them per character, at least 4, and they each have a different level, so you can level up each one of those. They have a weapon, and you can level up the weapons. The weapons are called W engines, I think. They're technically not weapons, but they like enhance your stats in different ways, and you can get a bunch of those and equip them to every character. And each one of those has a different level and a currency. All of these require different things, by the way. So if your character is an assault type, I guess, or like a tank character, they're different resources depending on what type of character they are. So you have to unlock all that. The bang boos I was talking about. So the bang boos work like agents. So it's like a separate thing that there's a bunch of different bang boos, and you can spin for those and unlock the ones you want. They all have like different tiers, or they're like A rank, S rank, and of course, you know, you want the fucking S rank ones. No one knows what differentiates an S rank from an A rank, but they tell you that this one's an S rank, so that's the one you're gonna want. And so each one of those they work like the agents. So there's like, I don't know, 20 different ones of those, and they use a different thing though. So to unlock those is a different resource and a different menu you have to go to unlock that resource, and then spend for those. And all of those have a level as well, so you can level all of those.
Oh my god!
Now what I'm explaining is like normal fucking like gotcha shit. Like anyone who's played any of these games, I think they're like, yeah, no, that's fucking normal. But the problem is this game is like, it's a good fight. If they just made a video game, like, you know how you were saying with Musashi Megaton, that you couldn't pause it. You can fucking pause this game. This game you can just straight up pause it and go do something and then come back and unpause it. Like it's a video game. So,
but it's just got all this like gotcha shit in it.
Yeah.
Like
if they just made a video game, it'd be fucking so awesome. But the parts where you're actually playing the video game is so few and far between. I'm just like getting bored. I started skipping all the story shit, and I started just skipping everything. So I'm like, let me just get to the combat. Because the combat is just fucking awesome, and that's just what I want to do. But they force you to do all this other bullshit because you have to. It forces you to get your levels up to progress in the story. And the story is just such a slow burn. Like, it's all interesting. The voice acting is great. The animations are fucking incredible. Like, I'm talking like Pixar levels of like, you know how like Pixar does like all those bouncy animation, like everyone's like bubbly and bouncy. Like it has that like level of quality to it, and it's super fucking incredible. It's very fucking good. But again, it's few and far between. Like the good animation shit and the and like the combat animations, just how smooth and flashy everything is. You're not really doing most of that most of the time. It's like just a lot of dialogue, a lot of menus, and it's a lot of like forced leveling to progress in the story, which then once you get to a certain point, you'll do a combat scenario, and you know that'll be over in like a minute and a half, and then you're back to like more story and dialogue and shit. And it's just like, I'm certain that at some point, I'd even like talk about like there's a whole like dungeon crawling section where it plays like a dungeon crawler, but also like a roguelike, where it's like tile based. It's like top down tile based puzzle, if you can imagine that, where it's like block based, and you're moving blocks, and then certain tiles will have things on it that if you land on that tile, X event happens now, and you get cards, and you can use this card now, or you can save it for later, or it like has like a whole roguelike thing that I even talk about. Like there's a lot of shit in this game, but and again, that whole thing it's like it works like a puzzle game almost, but the puzzles are just so brainless that it's impossible to, because it tutorializes it the whole time, that I'm not sure if there's even a wrong way to do it. Like, I don't think there's any way to fuck it up. You know, I put in 12 hours and it's still just basic baby shit. Like I'm kind of looking for it to, the combat too. The combat is completely brain dead because again, you get all these mechanics. That's a bummer. It gives you all these mechanics. It never asks you to use them. Because at the end of the day, you can just mash the X button, and then as soon as that Bayonetta, like, oh, here, the attack's incoming, you just hit the fucking counter button, and that's it. The attack comes in, you counter it, and then mash X some more. And the attack's coming in, you counter it, mash X some more. Oh, now I can chain assist now. And so it's just like mashing R1 and X, and it's over. Now I'm sure it gets more complicated than that once they start like requiring different elements, and then it requires you to level up specific characters. Or here's my fire guy. Now the ice chick that I like no longer is viable in this situation, but I got her to like level 50. Now all my other guys like level 10, so I got to spend more resources to level these guys up because I require some fire in this level at this stage, and it's just I don't have any fire people now, so I gotta go make some spins. Maybe I unlock a fire guy. It's like that shit. But it's like not, because it's so easy that you really don't even have to think about it until maybe the end game. So all that to say that I think this is an incredible thing that they've made here.
Yeah.
But once you realize what it's doing, it's like, okay, I don't think the good stuff, the stuff I actually want to do in the game is so few and far between, and I just don't want to really do any of the shit that it's forcing me to do, so I can get to the good stuff. It's kind of shitty. So, I recommend you try it out because it's interesting. It is interesting.
I am not gonna try it. That sounds does not sound like a good time.
Like
I
it
can't imagine
is.
playing 12 hours of a game and like most of it just being like menus and dialogue. Like that's insane.
Yeah. Even the entire time I've been talking about it here, I've gotten 26 minutes into my archived stream of this, and there's been no combat. The combat starts 31 minutes into this shit where I'm just straight up just doing the story. And
That's so annoying, especially since like I never played Genshin Impact, but like that's an open world game, so you're constantly like playing it, right? Like it's not you're not just taking breaks from like the main game for extended
yeah,
periods of time, right?
that's the thing. In Genshin, there's just tons of shit to do everywhere. You'll just wander around, and there's enemies, and there's just shit to do. Um, Not that you would want to do any of that shit because it's not like a traditional RPG where you use a character and they level up. Like that's not how these games work. Like it doesn't matter who the fuck you use, they don't get anything for using them. It's only when you decide to invest the resources into them when they improve as a character. So it doesn't fucking matter if you're using them. It only matters if you're just investing in them. So so even in Genshin, if you're just wandering around killing shit, you're not really getting anything from that aside from resources. But at least you can do that because in this game, the only time you can do the combat is if you go into the combat zones and do the combat. And even then, it's like a Devil May Cry, or it's like a Devil May Cry where it's just like zones. It's like here's a zone where the combat is, and you walk a little bit, and then here's a zone. But it'll be like 2 zones of combat, and then it's over, and then you're done. It'll be like 2 minutes worth of like actual shit, and then here's more dialogue and more story, and then we're gonna kick you out, and then do some story. Um, yeah, it's like just not it's not enough. It's not enough. But the combat is like better than Genshin. It's like better than anything they've done. That's the thing. Like the combat's so fucking good that you just want to do it, but they don't really give you the
I was gonna say the
opportunities.
combat looks like fun. Like that couple minutes I was watching right now look pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah, that 45 seconds that you just saw of combat happening was great. um, yeah, but that's what the game is. It's like you get a good 45 seconds, and then here's some more dialogue, or here you gotta kick you out now because now you're doing something else. It's just a bummer. Like what I expected was more like Phantasy Star Online, where you load into a zone and then you have like you can just explore for a little bit of this zone, and then there's like enemies around, and but it's not that at all. You drop in and there's like 2 rooms at the most, 2 rooms with enemies in them, and then you take them out, and it's like a whole 2 minutes, and that's it. Um, and I think that's the biggest disappointment for me. If you're really into the story, I guess you'll enjoy that part, but it was like the actual like gameplay, the combat for me is like where it shines,
Yeah.
and it's just
No,
not
I'm
enough.
very gameplay focused in most of the games I play.
Yeah,
So like you telling me like you play for like 12 hours and you only got like not even an hour of like actual combat, like that's a deal breaker for me.
yeah. And that's the thing. And then when there is combat, it's just super boring and repetitive because it's way too easy. Just mash X, occasionally hit RB, occasionally hit A. It's like not. But it has like tutorials for every character, and then it'll be like, hey, if you hit Y, it'll charge up this meter. Like every character has a different mechanic, which is insane. Like the ice chick, there's an ice chick who has a huge fucking ice sword, and when you use her like special, like her EX attack 3 times, she unlocks a meter, and then when you hold Y, she does a huge fucking ice attack that like swirls. It's like an ice blizzard, and it like freezes motherfuckers. And you're like, holy shit, that's awesome. But you never fucking use it. You'll never use it because all you do is just mash X, and then hit RB when you want to counter, and then that's it. And then you're on, and then the next character switches in. Like, you're never focusing on one character for long enough to really use the specific mechanics that exist for that character, because everyone has like different shit. It's really impressive, but you never need it. You never need it. So
yeah, I'm bummed out now.
and then
That sucks.
and then they'll highlight specific characters. That's why I'm like, it's weird that they'll highlight specific characters. Oh, get the Shark Girl. The Shark Girl is like the headline character right now, and people are upset because they're like, oh no, if you just spend 90, if you do 90 spins, you're guaranteed a 50-50 chance to get her. I'm like, what? And then, but
Dude,
like,
what?
I'm like, who the fuck cares if you like for a specific character? Because you're not like focusing on one character ever in this game. That you like, you kind of need more. You need a bunch of characters. Like, you're never focusing on one character, because that character is going to be in situations where they're not like they're not the best character for a certain situation. Like, you're going to want, like, they all have different elements, they all have different strengths and weaknesses. You're going to want every character. That's the whole point, is like, one character is not enough. Like, that's how they get you, is because, oh, now we require you to have electricity here, and oh no, I don't have any fucking, none of my electricity characters are leveled, so I have to get another one so that they're viable for this situation. I don't really get the whole specific character thing. That never really made sense to me. Even in Genshin, it was the same thing. Like, they all have different elements, so they're just not viable for certain situations. So yeah, I don't get it. Just get all the characters and level them all up. That requires the most resources, so you have to like do all this other bullshit to level all your shit up. Like, it's like that. It's like that happening. For me, it was gonna be either this or the first Descendant, which also released in the same window. I chose this because I'd already played that game, so I already knew what that was about. And they both seem shitty in different ways. It's just that this is I mean, like, it's it's just horseshit.
It's shitty in like all the free to play ways. Like,
yeah, the thing is, like, the gameplay here is good when you get it, but and then, you know, all the interesting like life sim Persona shit that it's doing is also interesting, but it's just not enough of the actual like game there. So
that's a huge bummer. Like, the combat looks like fun, but like, yeah, from what you described, I'm gonna skip it. Like, that's the thing when it comes to these like free to play like style games. Like, the core of the game could be awesome, but if everything built around that is like really shitty and annoying and gets in the way of that game, like, I'm gonna pass. Like, I don't got time for that.
And yeah, because it does the Persona shit. It does the Persona where like you have different days and you can spend time doing shit with certain characters, or, you know, everyone has like a relationship rank. Even though I haven't unlocked that yet, again, I see shit that I'm going to unlock as I keep going, and then that thing is going to have a different menu, is going to have a different meter, and it's going to have different currency that it unlocks for doing that thing. And because it's already done it multiple times, there's an arcade you can go to and play like arcade games, and each one of those games has a meter. Each one of those games has a meter on it.
Oh my god.
It's like yeah, it's like that with everything. So yeah, that's my review of Zenless Zone Zero.
Oh, bummer. I'm gonna skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun at all. Pick up Scarlet Nexus. It sounds like that's what you want. And Scarlet Nexus also has Persona mechanics where like you can build up like relationships with your team, and they can unlock more abilities as you like hang out with them and give them gifts and stuff. So check that out.
Yeah, I have 29 minutes to buy it. Let me do that real quick.
Yeah. All right, so that's the games we've been playing. We're gonna move on to a discussion topic. So if you've been on the internet for the past like week,
yeah,
you've probably heard Alana Pierce's not really controversy. People are bitching about it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk about this more, because I still don't think I understand what the actual issue is, but
So there's three camps that are mad about this. Okay.
yeah,
And I'll get into it right now. But so basically, Alana Pierce did a video, which you can see right here, talking about Elden Ring. Now, before we get started, the fucking video is called "Elden Ring is not hard," or the Elden Ring DLC is not that hard. Yeah, Elden Ring DLC is too hard. It's not. And she talks about like, "Hey, Junior, what are you doing?" He's like smacking at like my desk. I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? Don't do that." He's what the fuck was I? Yeah, so she talks about the Elden Ring DLC for like half the video, about how like, hey, it's not that hard. Here's some stuff in it to make it easier. If you're having a hard time with it, go explore. You know, a lot of the stuff that like Elden Ring players and FromSoft players will tell you.
yeah,
And then she talks about accessibility and how one thing, and it's not just Elden Ring, but any FromSoft game does not have a pause button, and that makes it really hard for people with certain disabilities to access the game. And she drops a term called situational disability, which people are pissed off about. Because she says, you know, if you have a situational disability like a kid, you know, a pause button would be so much better.
yeah,
Because you can't pause your game if you have a kid, so if your kid's gonna like do something, stick a fucking fork in an electrical outlet or something, you can't pause your game to like do that.
yeah. So
And
that's the part where I was like, okay, when I heard her say that, I was like, okay, people are gonna be upset at this, like for the like she. They're gonna think that she's just suggesting that their kid is a disability. And you're like, my kid, I love my kid. He's not a disability.
yeah, so there's three parties that are mad at this. Okay, that's one thing.
That's the one I
And
got.
and then she's like, you know, maybe, and she doesn't just say Elden Ring. She gives it as an example, but you know, any game, and she talks a lot about. She advocated for a lot of accessibility options in games. How, you know, her work on God of War Ragnarok, like she did a lot of accessibility stuff for that too, and it's really important. And she talks about different disability types. You know, there's like permanent disabilities, the ones that we know about. You know, like you know, blindness, deafness, you know, muscle issues. This, you know, if you're paralyzed, stuff like that. And she talks about temporary disabilities, if you sprain your wrist or something. And she mentioned how, like, playing a lot of games, she has like carpal tunnel issues. So rapidly pushing buttons like hurt. She has to like ice pack her wrist after playing games like that. And she says a lot in this fucking video. She says multiple times, I'm not asking you to make the game easier. I'm just asking you to give more options.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think to fix this is to make Elden Ring easier, add an easy mode. Because she mentions the game has a ton of like hidden ways to make the game easier. And she comments what I said, where even if like you beat the game, you're still gonna have those purists that are like, oh, you summons, you didn't actually beat the game, casual. Like she mentions that in the fucking video.
Yeah.
And so that's her video. She talks about like, hey, maybe some games have some more accessibility options because of these reasons. Elden Ring's a good example since we're on the topic. And people fucking flipped out, dude. You had 3 different camps mad at her. You had like the anti-woke like guys who are like, oh, girls talking about games, fuck her. So one camp.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even see that angle.
Yeah, you had
I'm so past that that didn't even cross my mind that people were upset just because she's a woman.
Yeah, and then second, you had the Elden Ring fans who are like, fuck you, Elden Ring doesn't have to be easier. Like, this guy doesn't have hands and he beat Elden Ring. Like, there's a fucking Reddit thread I wish I could find again that I saw. There's just filled with bad takes. And I'll get into that right now. And the third camp is, and this is multiple groups of people. I lump them in the same category. You have the parents that are like, fuck you, my kid's not a disability. And then you have the disabled community who's like, how dare you insinuate a kid is the same thing as like, my leg's not working. Which I can understand, you know, the controversy there. The problem is she didn't make up this fucking term.
Yeah.
Situational disability is an actual industry term that is used in graphic design and video game design, software design, to decide how to build your systems to meet these sort of requirements. It's something when I studied graphic design in college, and I learned this term. Hey, when you're designing a website, you got to keep in mind, like, some people might have certain disabilities that make it harder to read the site. So you have to be careful with, like, color choices, font choices. Make sure to have options in there to make things easier to read or something, or change the color scaling. Like, there's a ton of things you want to do. And we use a term like situational disability for things like games. You know, so, again, someone had a kid. That's a situational disability, because that disables them from enjoying the content the way you intended, because they had to stop every like 5 minutes to keep their kid safe. She didn't make up this term. Now, is it a clumsy term? Yeah, I'll admit it. But, and here's another thing I want to get into. I work in insurance. So there's a lot of like industry terms that don't fucking make sense to people. So I understand where that's coming from, but educate yourself before you like flip your shit. And like, I'll give you a perfect example. I work in insurance, right? If I told you without any prior knowledge, you have comprehensive coverage on your car, what would you think that meant? Just based on that word, comprehensive coverage, what would you think that meant?
Comprehensive?
Yes.
Like partial coverage? You're like dependent on something?
Now, would you think that because you know how insurance works, or just you're going based on like the word comprehensive?
That's just based on, I don't know shit about insurance. I do not have a car. I ride a motor electric bike.
Now, the reason I brought that up is comprehensive coverage basically means non-collision coverage. It covers things like theft, vandalism, fire, non-collision related claims. But if you look up the word comprehensive on the internet, you know, just like in the dictionary or something, comprehensive means including all or nearly all elements or aspects of something. So that's something I get a lot in my line of work. I have comprehensive coverage. What do you mean my car doesn't cover if I cause an accident? Because that's not how it's defined in this industry. If you look at your contract, this is how we define comprehensive coverage. And it's not like we made it up. It's not like I made it up. It's just the industry standard.
Well, because there's also a thing called like full coverage, right?
No.
No? Okay.
So full coverage is not an actual industry term.
Oh.
Like if you look at your if you ever get a car, you get insurance, look at your contract, you're not going to see the word full coverage anywhere.
Okay.
But what it kind of means is that it's a catch-all term that means you have liability, collision, and comprehensive is usually what it means. So if you tell someone I need full coverage on my car, they'll know what they'll assume you're asking for a liability, comprehensive, and collision.
Okay.
That's what I mean though. Like when you talk about industry terms versus like everyday terms, things get confusing and annoying. So I can understand people being weirded out, like, what do you mean having a kid with a disability? No, it's not. I get that. Let's get past that, because that's not what she meant. And to argue that's what she meant is being fucking ridiculous. You're being disingenuous if you're mad at her for saying that. So let's get past that. That's not what she meant. It's an industry term. You don't like it, fucking change the industry. Good luck.
But even if you have like a slightest bit of like reading between the lines, like, even if you didn't know that was an industry term or whatever, even just saying that, I know what you mean by that. You're saying, oh, something happened and now I'm in a situation where I'm disabled in some way. Or
like it sounds silly to say because, like, you know, you think like a kid disability, but that's not what she meant.
Yeah.
And to argue that is fucking insane to me. But a lot of people are arguing that. And I've seen so many dumb fucking takes for this. Like I said, the Elden Ring crowd, I wish I could find this fucking thread, dude. This guy was like, oh, this like streamer doesn't have hands and he fucking beat Elden Ring. At some point, disability is a mindset. Okay, first off, fuck you for saying that. Just because this guy can do it doesn't mean everyone else can. And while we're on the subject there, this guy has a custom controller to fucking play this game with. So you're gonna tell me that that's not an accessibility option. He plays with an Xbox controller on PC, and he uses the home button as the attack button. You're gonna tell me that's not? You can't do that shit vanilla.
Wow.
Yeah,
you can't. Make a controller that he can use. Maybe that's just too expensive.
Maybe it is, but he made it work. Good on him. If this is what he wants to do, he makes it work. But he also mentions, oh, I looked this dude up. I wish I could fucking find this like. I wish I'd saved this stuff because I looked it up like the day it happened, and this thread's like a week old now, so I can't find it. But yeah, the guy he like mentions like, oh, this streamer can do it. Like, why can't anyone else? It's like, yeah, because he has the fucking accessibility options to do it. He has a custom controller. He uses. He admitted in the streams he uses foot pedal sometimes, depending on the game. He plays on PC because he gets those customization options for his controller.
It's such a shitty argument because you don't even have to be disabled to make that shitty argument. There's a guy who Ren's Reviews who does like very like funny reviews of shit, but he like No Life's Destiny. So he got so good at Destiny that he just started like killing. He like started doing raids with just his feet, or he taught his dog how to like hit the button for him to do the thing. And it's like, well, his dog can do it. Like, why? Like, it's such a shitty argument that you can use in any situation that it doesn't work.
Exactly. If you want to bring that shit yeah, and if you're bringing that shit into real life, it's like, by that argument, disability is a mindset. This guy can do it, why can't you? Okay, so the disabled people that are fine with walking for fucking ever, we don't need handicap parking anymore. It's a mindset. You're fine. Yeah. Like, fuck you. Like, and that's the thing I hate too, is like, and again, this is an Elden Ring thread that I found. I'm trying to find it again, but I can't find it anywhere. And the guy's like, FromSoft doesn't need a pause button. Like, what the fuck do you mean it doesn't need a pause button? Like, what does it change? God damn it. Someone explain to me what it changes. Yeah, other than arbitrarily making the game harder. Like,
it doesn't make it hard. It just makes it dumb
like,
for no reason. Like, if you
it makes it inaccessible for no reason.
It cannot pause when you're like online where it matters, but you're just playing something offline. Any game that does this should just not do. Like I said, fucking Zenless Zone Zero is a game that I would expect not to be able to pause. Just because, I don't know, it's just one of those fucking shitty games. But you can pause in that game. Like, they made a video game, but just added all this bullshit on top. You can still pause it.
And that's what I'm saying, dude, is like, and to argue, like, disability is a mindset. Like, dude, it's a spectrum of, like, things that can fuck with you. Like, let's say you get Elden Ring, right? And you have, like, Crohn's or something. You gotta get up every, like, 20 minutes to take a shit. You're really gonna tell me, like, too bad, get good? Really? You're gonna tell me to get good with Crohn's? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here! Like,
or like if you are just in one of those situations where, you know, maybe you're just walking down the street one day and you just didn't see like a crack in the ground and you trip and fall and like hurt both of your wrists. Like you would be situationally, then you would be like in like Elden Ring, your like favorite game of all time. You play it every day. You're like, oh no, I can't play Elden Ring anymore. What do? And you're like, well, you're
exactly. And accessibility options are more than just like she says multiple times in the fucking video. Multiple times. I'm not asking you to make the game easier because she's not. She's asking to make it more accessible. There's a difference.
Well, especially since the title is Elden Ring is not too hard.
It's not. Yeah. The title is literally like. Yeah, the title is literally Elden Ring's DLC is too hard. Parentheses, it's not. And she spends the first half of the video. It's like a 17-minute video. She spends like the first 7 minutes saying like, hey, the game's not that hard. Here's why. And also FromSoft like patched it to make it a little bit easier. So even they thought like, okay, maybe some fans are right here.
Yeah.
And she meant, and again, accessibility isn't making the game easier. Like, your perfect example, like the wrist issue. Instead of, you can put an option to just hold the attack button to do a combo string instead of having to rapidly tap it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's one option to like make the game easier. Not easier, more accessible for people to play. And it's crazy to me that people are like upset about that. And it's because Elden Ring players, FromSoft players, have this weird like, they wear their accomplishments like a badge of honor. Like, I beat the game, so I'm better than you. Even though, like, come on, dude. Like, I'm not going to sit here and shit on somebody. That's where you get your, like, fulfillment from. But I'm gonna play this card right here. In like the last like year, I bought a house. I had well, my kid's like almost 2 now, but in the past 2 years, I bought a house. I got a promotion at work. I got a raise, and I have a kid. That's where I get like my accomplishments from. I don't need to prove anything to anybody. I don't need to prove anything to anybody.
But one of the things she brings up is that you could play it however you want, but they could they could add an achievement that says, "Hey, you got the achievement for doing this thing in the hardest way possible," and just have that badge of honor that no one else is gonna have because they either used a summon or they ate one of the fucking scourge tree things. Like that's one way to do it. Just like have achievements be actual achievements. You know?
Yeah, and she mentions this like a lot. She gives a ton of great examples, and nobody hears that. They just hear like, "Fuck you, get good."
Yeah.
Like I hate it. I fucking hate it. This is why we can't talk about shit because nobody wants to listen. They just want to like dig their heels in the ground, and be like, "No, fuck you, get good."
Yeah.
Oh my god, kid, stop. He's crying because I won't let him like hurt himself. Like, and for her to like, I've heard the term situational disability before. Like again, when I was studying graphic design back in college, so I knew what she meant. And for everyone else to have this knee-jerk reaction, I get it. But once it becomes clear, if you're still bitching about it, you're a fucking moron. Like that's not what she's saying.
She put up a video yesterday saying, "Please make it stop." Are they still getting at her about this?
Probably. Like
I thought this happened a while ago. We're kind of late talking about it.
She's a woman on the internet with an opinion. So yeah,
but she's been that for a while though.
That's true.
Like, she's pretty well respected.
Exactly. That's another thing that pisses me off. Is like it's not like this is coming out of nowhere. Like she does this all the time. She's worked multiple games and has talked about accessibility. She petitioned to have accessibility awards, you know, for games that go above and beyond to include these options.
Yeah.
And it's not, and she mentions multiple times, not asking to make the game easier, she wants to make it more accessible. Which, like, why would you hate that? That's what's so weird about it. It's like, if you like this game, you want to share it with people, why would you purposely put guardrails in there to keep people from enjoying it?
It's the same shit when like one of those like Sony exclusive games hit another platform and everyone's up in arms about their beloved game going to another platform. And it's like, if you love this game, you should want more people to enjoy it. Just in general, it doesn't even have to be Elden Ring. It could just be anything. Like, I would love more people to be able to play the games I love,
Yeah. That's the thing, though. That's not the appeal from soft games. It's about like not everyone can beat this game. That's the appeal.
Yeah.
Not everyone can beat it, but I did, so I'm special. Like that's what it comes from. Like, and it drives me fucking crazy, dude. This like elitism. It's a fucking game, dude. Calm down, first off. It's a fucking game. You didn't cure cancer. You didn't fucking end world hunger. You didn't fucking balance the national budget. You fucking beat Elden Ring. Probably with summons, so fuck you. Even if you didn't, fuck you anyway. Like,
it's like, remember like the Let Me Solo Her guy?
Yeah.
Like, he was very popular, and the whole point of him was, hey, I'm gonna kill the boss for you, just stand back. And I feel like if the attitude was as negative about summons as it seems to be, I feel like he would not have gotten as much acclaim as he received. People just being like, no, fuck this guy, it's not how you do it. You gotta suffer.
That's what I mean. It's like this selective like outrage that drives me crazy. And there's so many like layers to this people are mad about, and they're all wrong in being mad here.
Yeah.
That drives me fucking nuts. That's why I want to talk about it. Oh, sorry, bud. Because like, I have a kid. There's a lot of games I can't play when I'm watching them. Like, again, I would love to play Diablo 4, but I can't do that because I have to set up my computer to play it, and I can't be doing that while I'm trying to watch him. I could play it on my Xbox, but he's currently watching Wiggles on my TV, so I can't. I'm not going to stop Wiggles so I can play Elden Ring or play Diablo.
You can't pause Diablo either.
That too. That's another thing. Like that's why I exclusively play Diablo 4 like at night when he's asleep. And even then, like you played with me, there's a couple times where I had to be like, "Hey, he's up. I gotta go put him back down."
Yeah.
And it's a thing that happens, and that's why like I kind of don't want to put other people into that situation, which is why like I don't really play games online anymore. I invite friends to play with me because I know like I'm dragging them down if I have to like get up and stop for like 20, 30 minutes because my kid woke up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And it's something like I'm not complaining about it. Like I'm a dad. That's what happened. I knew it was going to be a change, so I'm okay with it. But what I have been playing are games that work with my situation, right? Like I said, I play Diablo 3 a lot. It's on Switch. I can play my Switch on my couch while I'm watching him. And I can pause the game. That's like, my Switch is like great right now because I can do that. And it's awesome. And I probably like Elden Ring. What's wrong, bud? What's wrong, bud? Even now, like I can't sit at my desk to do the show, so I have headphones on. I'm walking around, I'm holding them, trying to comfort him while I'm doing my show. Like you figure stuff out. But again, I'm not going to put my situation on other people. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, I figured it out. Why can't you? Like, no. Because I understand, like, everyone's situation is different. My kid is very high energy. It could be someone else that doesn't have a really high energy kid. Or maybe their kid has some sort of like mental, like maybe their kid's on the spectrum. They require much more attention than what my kid probably needs.
My kid is a little baby angel. He's not a disability.
See, and those people that say that, my kid's not a disability, fuck you. Those are the same people that complain when they go to a restaurant, they don't have high chairs. Like,
yeah.
Like, those people annoy the fuck out of me, too. It's like, I do my research. If I go to a restaurant, I take my son with me, I'll check and call ahead. Like, hey, you guys have high chairs, right? Cool. Oh, you don't? Never mind. I won't be coming. What's wrong, bud? What? You're saying dirt. I don't know what that means. Want your bottle? And see, like that's what I mean, dude, is like, it's great to have these accessibility options, and to pretend like it's going to make the game worse for you is so fucking stupid. Like, it drives me crazy. And people that say, like, oh, this person beat it with bongo drums. It's like, okay, that's great. So you think everyone else should, like, deal with that? Like,
this guy beat it with a Sega bass fishing rod.
Yeah. And again, like, if you use that argument outside of video games, it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's this, like, I saw this medical documentary, this woman who was born without any legs, and she gets around on a skateboard because she doesn't like wheelchairs. And, like, can you imagine someone use that argument? Like, oh, she gets around just fine on a skateboard. Why do you need a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Like, that would be insane to me to, like, argue that. But for video games, it's okay. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't have any hands. Like, why you need accessibility options? Like, yeah, but, like...
Well, because the argument is not everything needs to be made for you or some shit like that. And it's like, no, it doesn't.
Which is so stupid.
There's certain parts that can be like this doesn't have to be the reason why I can't play this.
Yeah, exactly. If I can't play the game because it's too hard, that's fine. If I can't play the game because the bosses frustrate me, I'm not patient enough to explore it, that's fine. Yeah. But if I can't play it because there's no pause button, that's fucking insane. If I can't play it because there's no colorblind option, yeah.
It's like not everything needs to be for you, man. It's like, well, it could be if they just like put a little switch in there that reverse the colors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it doesn't make sense. Every argument I've heard against including accessibility options comes from like the most disingenuous places. It's people who think like, oh, you're gonna ruin my game and make it easier. Like, no. Even if it did, who gives a shit? Like, you already complain people beat the game with summons. Like, why do you care if someone flipped the switch to turn on God mode or something?
Yeah.
Even if it did, even if Alana was like, I think there should be a button to make me invincible so I can beat this game. Like, why do you care?
Well, that's the thing. She brings up Tunic. Like, Tunic has a lot of options like that, where you can just have infinite stamina. There's like a God mode toggle.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you can use that if you like need it. Actually, I turned it on. I turned it on at the very fucking end of the game because I was just done with it. The combat in that game was not my favorite part. So at the end, where like it's like just that, I'm like, okay, I'm just finish this game.
Exactly, and like that's what I mean. Like, who cares? Like, and she mentioned Tunic too. She's like,
yeah,
I didn't use it. She's like, I beat the game. I beat the game, and I beat the hard optional boss too, without it. But the fact that it's there is like, it's okay. And she doesn't argue like every game needs that. Like, she talks more about like just a basic accessibility option, like a pause button. God, it's so stupid. Like. Every single argument I've heard against this is just the worst fucking take. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, it's an issue that should not have been an issue.
Yeah, she put up
like,
a new
this is
video.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it after the show. How long's the video?
19 minutes.
Ugh, I'll watch after the show. But yeah, I'll watch it after the show. But yeah, that's my take on this. Like, if you're mad about this, fuck you. Like, you're the worst part of video games.
Yeah.
You're the reason why people like look at gamers and think like the worst. Because you are. You're the worst that we have to offer. And unfortunately, your voice is the loudest. Like, no, objectively, the world would probably be a better place without you in it. Sorry if you didn't like hearing that, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm curious how these people function in other aspects of life. You know,
like where does the line get drawn? Like, on that like mentality, like do you when you leave your house, do you go out the window because like the door's too easy? Like. Like, I just want to know where like this line ends. Like, people think I'm being facetious. Like, there's two. If anyone's listening, there's gonna be two kinds of people. There's gonna be people that agree with me, and there's gonna be people that are fucking fuming and are gonna just start angrily typing and didn't listen to anything I said. But I'm done being nice to these people, man. Like, fuck you. Like, if that's legitimately your take, like, Elden Ring doesn't need a pause button, get good, like, fuck you.
Well,
You're a piece of shit.
I want people to kind of have. I want people to submit their thoughts like on both ways, because maybe someone does have a dissenting opinion that shatters this whole thing wide open, you know, to where like, no, you're wrong and here's why, and it's like, okay, well, I never thought about it like that, but I haven't seen that yet. So if someone has that, I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it too, and I'll very carefully explain to you why you're wrong. No, this is like, I don't understand. Like, I don't think there's a good argument against this. And again, yeah. She didn't. If you come in here like the whole point of Elden Ring is to be hard. If you make it easy, that just defeats the worst. She's not talking about making it easy. Shut the fuck up. And even if she was, like, why do you care? Like, you're still gonna play the game the hardest way anyway. You're still not gonna use summons anyway. You're not gonna use those seeds or whatever anyway. So like, why does it make a difference to you? There's already shit in the game that makes it easier.
Yeah. I think if they just had
achievements. I can go on YouTube. I can go on YouTube right now and be like, and look up like what's the easiest way to beat Elden Ring, and there'll be tons of videos on like builds that make the game easy.
I had a friend who played Sekiro. He would do like the no-hit challenge in Sekiro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like that's the hardest thing you can do in that game, I think. And he would do it constantly. And I'm like, but there's no like achievement. If they added achievements for this type of shit, I think it would end all discussion. And you'd be like, hey, I got the achievement for no hits in Sekiro. You'd be like, holy shit, man, you're one of like 0.03%. That's crazy. One accomplishment.
Yeah, but then you have those other fans who are like, it's bullshit. This is an achievement. I can't 100% the game now.
Yeah, but that's it. I feel like those people are not the type of people who would even complain about if you're like 100%ing. I don't know. If you're like 100%er, then you should just do it. You just do it. You're probably the kind of person that cares about that shit.
Bugger, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that's what I mean, dude. It's like you can't make everybody happy with this. So let's just make the choice that makes the most people happy. Doesn't make the loudest people happy. Makes the most people happy. Like let's just do that.
Like you're not supposed to get every achievement. That's the thing. An achievement's supposed to be an achievement. Like that's where they fucked up with achievements. Is like I remember playing Sly Cooper on PS3, the remaster, and you literally get three trophies in that game just for starting the game. You get one for picking up one coin, and you get like two for like you get one for booting the game, you get one for starting a new game, and you get one for picking up one coin.
Booger. He's not farting. He's putting his face on the couch and just like blowing raspberries on it.
Farts are funny. Farts are funny, man.
Yeah, farts are funny. Farts are funny. He thinks farts are really funny. Hey, Booger.
Okay, what's next?
Yeah, what's next? Quickies. PocketPair, Sony Music, and Aniplex to establish PalWorld Entertainment.
Oh.
So PalWorld's gonna be a whole like media empire now. We're gonna have trading card games and anime.
It's like Sony's It's like Sony is doing a Pokemon with PalWorld. This is crazy. This is big, actually, because it's like exactly what it sounds like. It's like they're doing Pokemon with Sony and Aniplex. So, which I think Aniplex is under Sony, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's the same setup that Pokemon has. Like, Game Freak makes Pokemon. Nintendo licenses them for Pokemon, and then Creatures Inc. is like the media side of it. It's like the same exact setup as like for the Pokemon company.
Oh, that's cool. Honestly, PalWorld has a potential to be something like really cool, and I would like to see more PalWorld projects. I don't know what a PalWorld anime would look like, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, just like everything, like, yeah, but you didn't expect it because of all the accusations of like AI and just how negative people are about PalWorld in terms of, oh, you're just copying Pokemon. Like, I didn't think they would actually go so far as to create their own Pokemon company and do exactly.
Dude, like the controversy for PalWorld wasn't even like real. It was just a couple people bitching on Twitter. At the end of the day, it's Pokemon with guns, so nobody gives a shit about like everything else because it's Pokemon with guns, so nobody cares about everything else.
It's just I like to see this because it actually gives Pokemon some actual competition in like every field that it's operating in. You know, the games are not very hot right now, but
yeah,
that's what I'm more interested in.
Yeah, that's what I want to see too. Like, as a Pokemon player, Pokemon's had it too easy for too long, dude.
Yeah,
they've been. We're just now starting to see like real criticism of the Pokemon games, and I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, criticize them, force them to do better. Because I'm sick of this, like, our game's going to get worse every year. We're going to copy and paste all the same shit over. Except for when we don't, we're just going to take out, like, half the Pokedex for whatever reason. Because for years, I could still argue for Pokemon. Like, hey, like, yeah, it's kind of bare bones, basic. It's not a huge improvement from what it was before. But look at this. Every Pokemon that's ever been here is still here.
Yeah.
Now I can't even say that. So after that happened, gloves off, fuck Pokemon. I'm down to like judge it, and I like Pokemon. I actually like the new game. I liked it. I liked the combat, the gameplay. I think was the best ever been. It's been the most tight, the most responsive. not responsive. It's been the most tight. It's been the most balanced. I love the way the new game plays. But everything around that is fucking dog shit. And then you have games like PalWorld come out that do so much cool, unique things. I want to see more of that. So I hope Sony. It sounds like they're like about to double down on what PalWorld's doing, and I'm here for it, dude. It's not gonna be enough to like dethrone Pokemon, but I think it's gonna be enough to make Pokemon like make the Pokemon company think like, hey, we gotta do something else. What they need to do is release PalWorld on Switch. That'll be cool.
I mean, still only on Xbox and PC. FWBCF said, "What's your favorite game you've ever played?"
Ooh, that's a tough one. My favorite game I ever played.
My favorite game is different than what I think the best game is. I'll say that straight up. There are two different lists for me in terms of favorite and best. But favorite,
yeah, if we're talking like, you go first. I want to hear your answer.
Favorite is probably Ocarina of Time, Zelda. I've played that so many times. I've done the randomizer a couple times. I know that game like inside and out with the back of my hand. At least from a casual standpoint, there's a lot of like speed run tactics that I don't know. Maybe I should get into speed running that game. I think that's my like next thing, is I'll learn all the speed run strats and maybe do that.
Do it.
Yeah.
You play the game enough. It's like we still love it. Like that's like the next way to like enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think is the best game then?
Outer Wilds, easy.
Really?
Outer Wilds. It is like it is the epitome of this is something you can only do in a video game. It can never be translated to anything else. And it's just one of those games where you play it once and you can never get that same experience again from like, that's why I like watch other people play it or try to get someone else to play it and watch them, because that's the only way I can relive that experience is like through someone else. It's like, it's that kind of game. And I think it's just, that's what video games should be, in my opinion. It's like, this is a video game, it can only exist as a video game, and it does, but it like, does it perfectly as well. It's like, for sure.
I have a couple answers for this. If I can talk about one singular game, and that even then, that changes depending on my mood. Probably Onimusha 2.
Wow.
It's probably my favorite game.
That is a deep
cut. I don't talk about it a lot, but Onimusha 2, I think, is some of the best of the fixed camera Capcom games that Capcom's ever put out.
Yeah.
The story is a lot of fun. I remember the music being so great. It really fills in the atmosphere. The weapons are all neat. The combat system's really fun to learn, hard to master. I played that game multiple times. It's got multiple different endings, so the game's different every time you play through it. It's not a roguelike, but it has a mechanic where you could give gifts to characters. Depending on how much affection you build, that character becomes more prevalent in the story. So like, there's some characters that show up, and if you're like super close with them, they become like a second character. Like, it's crazy, like how much impact they have on the story. Like, there's some boss fights that get skipped because that character shows up and like does something and like skips the boss fight for you. Like, it's really cool. Some characters can die depending on how you treat them. So like, at the end of the game, like, there are characters that like you end up having a fight because they don't like you because of choices you made. And it's not a long game. It's like maybe like 5-6 hours, but you can beat it pretty quickly. But the way it like lets you change the game around every time you play through it. I played through the game so many times as a kid. I remember, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And even then, that changes the thing on my mood. Like, I'll say that. Sometimes I'll say Dino Crisis 2, because that game really built up the. That game's the reason I like Devil May Cry so much, because that game was a precursor to a lot of that.
Yeah.
And Onimusha 2 did the same thing, because if you fight super well, because the way the game works is if you fight super well, you kill enemies quickly, they drop these souls, they disappear after a set amount of time. But if you wait till the last minute to collect the souls, you get a bonus for every one you collect consecutively. So it encourages you not to like grab those experience points as soon as they drop, but to wait until you've killed enough enemies but before they start disappearing to capitalize on that bonus.
Okay.
So I blame games like that for the reason why I like these like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, these games that like score you so much.
You really like Capcom.
I do. I like Capcom a lot. But if we're talking about like entire franchise game series, I'm gonna take another direction with this. The Mass Effect trilogy.
Wow.
I consider that one game. A lot of people don't, but I consider it one game. That's another game that like has great combat, great story, great characters. I beat that whole trilogy at least like once a year. And if I get bored, I play the combat's great.
Well, the combat changes from like each game.
But the core of it's still the same. It's like this third-person shooter with cover mechanics and these power systems.
Yeah.
And the third game is when it really picks up, but I'll argue like the combat, especially with the Legendary Edition, the first game's combat is more on par with the next two. Like, it's really fun.
Right. They like enhanced it to make them more similar.
Not a lot more similar, but yeah. The game doesn't feel like as big a slog as it was when it came out like 10 plus years ago. But that's a game, like, if I get bored with it, man, I'll start it over, play a totally different character, totally different build, I'll force myself not to use, like for example, when I played, the first time I played through Vanguard, which is like biotic guns. So close range combat is the name of the game there. When I beat it, I was like, okay, let's do something totally different. Let's play an Infiltrator, which instead of shotguns and biotics, it's sniper rifles and tech. Totally opposite.
Yeah.
I had a blast both times playing through it. And that's a testament to the game. Like, it's designed so well that you can play so many different ways, and it's still fun the whole way through. If we're talking best game of all time, very similar to your answer, because I haven't played Outer Wilds yet, Undertale. For the same reason. It's a story, and it's a game that only works as a game.
Okay, yeah.
My elevator pitch for Undertale is it's a game where being a game is canon to the game.
Yeah.
And it's not like doing it like a meta, like tongue-in-cheek, like, no, like, part of the game's story is that it's a video game. I'm not going to spoil it, but that is a perfect example, too. If, like, you translated that to, like, a book, a movie, an anime, something critical will get lost in translation. But as, like, a perfect example of this only works as a video game.
Yeah.
If you don't count that, my second answer is Tetris.
Yeah, that's like the real
I think that's
answer.
Perfect. Yeah. Tetris is like it's a perfect game.
By way of like its longevity and how like known it is culturally, it's like, yeah, Tetris is like the easy, clear answer.
Yeah.
It just has a staying power and everyone knows it. Everyone's played it on their phones. Your grandma knows it. Like that and like Pac-Man or something. But I feel like Pac-Man's kind of died a bit, where Tetris is still going strong.
I'll argue Tetris, because it's so much simpler, it's a better game. Like it's perfect. Like you can play different versions of Tetris that like change it, give it a twist, but the vanilla default version is still like arguably the best way to play it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe you've never been asked that before.
Yeah, I've never been asked that. Yeah, I know. I had to think about it for a minute. What about you, bud? Like, what about you, man? What's your favorite game?
Let us know, FW. While we wait for that answer, Dolphin is adding retro achievements.
Yeah.
And
which is cool.
As a dude who loves their retro achievements, if you look at the list here, it's like a pretty extensive list of what they're launching with. This is going to launch on Monday the 15th.
Didn't RetroArch already have retro achievements for GameCube games? Or making that up?
Not for GameCube, and you won't be able to do it in RetroArch for GameCube, only in the Dolphin Emulator. But it didn't do GameCube. I think the latest that you can do in RetroArch is PS1. There's PS2 achievements. There's PS2 achievements in the PCSX2 emulator. I don't think you can do that in RetroArch.
I thought PSP was on RetroArch too.
Yeah, these emulators are in RetroArch, but it's not going to support the achievements.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You can do achievements in RetroArch, but not for GameCube, not for PS2. You can do for PS1 and maybe PSP. I think maybe Dreamcast, but that's as late as it gets. And then you have to go to PCSX2 has the PS2 achievements, and GameCube will have the Dolphin will have the GameCube achievements. So Soul Calibur 2 is on this list. That's my favorite Soul Calibur. I love the Weapon Master mode in that, which they took out in the later games.
Oh yeah.
Like it just gives me reason to go back to some of these games, even though they've been like re-released. Most of them, like Eternal Darkness, is gonna have achievements.
I'll argue that like we're on subject of Soul Calibur 2. I'll argue that the GameCube version is the best one because Link I think fits better in Soul Calibur than like Spawn or Heihachi.
Yeah, and Link was my guy. It was Link, and then when I lost Link, I just switched to like Taki and Talim were like my backups.
I'm so annoyed that like the HD version of Soul Calibur only has like Heihachi. It doesn't have like Spawn or Link. I understand why they couldn't, but like, come on. I would love like a definitive version of like Soul Calibur 2 with like all the guest characters, like the exclusive characters.
FW said, "I watch you guys play Oxenfree." Yeah, I got an Oxenfree full playthrough on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
which people are still watching. It's like that and the fucking Parappa, dude. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But that's like all people watch on the channel. We got so much more. It's a bummer. But check out our other stuff. Check out our other stuff, FW. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah. And hop in the Discord while you're at it, man. Like,
yeah, hop in the Discord, talk to us. You sound like you are a person who enjoys video games. So
yeah. Yeah, man. Like, hop in. We're I like to think we're pretty cool. Like, we're not dickheads.
Yeah.
So, at least I try not to be. I live my life like not being a dickhead. Like that's like my main goal in life. Like, just don't be a dickhead.
Yeah, so, you might not be a dickhead in your mind, but someone might perceive you differently.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, this game, yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, not RetroArch, Dolphin Achievements. I need to like just download like Dolphin already. I've been hankering to play some old games, and I think I might just like start emulating again. Is there like a decent Wii U emulator right now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. There's been for a while. Okay. CEMU. Yeah, it works perfectly. I've been playing the Zelda remasters on there because they won't put them on Switch. So
yeah, but that's why I want to pick it up because like Twilight Princess Remastered never got released on Switch. Wind Waker never got released on Switch.
Yeah.
What else? Fucking Xenoblade X still hasn't been released on Switch, which pisses me off.
Yeah, but you don't need to play that.
I do. I want to though. I gotta play all of them. Oh my god, my fucking brother. He called me one day. Like he video called me. For those of you who don't know, my brother is Air Force. Lives in Japan. And he was like, "Bro, I got something for you. I think you might want to pick it up." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Okay, $70." Like, "Okay, already, dude. Like, you just think I have $70 to give you?" He's like, "No, check this out." And he pulls up his camera. And it's the fucking collector's edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Wow.
With like the art book. I looked this shit up, dude. It goes for like $100+ here in the States, even the Japanese version. So I'm like, oh shit, pick that up. Yeah. I'll send you $70 right now. Like, I love the Xenoblade games. So even though like X might not be good, like objectively, I still want to try it. Oh, Bud, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I still want to try it.
X has destroyed me on the entire franchise. That was the first one I played, and I hated it, and it just made me hate the entire franchise. It's like that bad.
Dude, full disclosure, Xenoblade 1 almost killed the franchise for me. Because like, okay. Hold on. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm gonna piss some people off with this, but my first time playing Xenoblade, if you remember, Xenoblade Chronicles was on Wii, and nobody knew it was gonna be a hit, so they made like limited copies. So by the time the game got popular, used copies are going for like $60-$70. I'm like, I'm not about to spend that much money on a Wii game.
Yeah.
So I picked up the 3DS version when that came out. And I liked it. I liked what I was playing, but the game spends forever getting to the fucking point, and it almost ruined the game for me. I still haven't finished it. And I played 2. That's what like really got me into the franchise was 2, because the story was so good. I think the story for 2 was better, even though I haven't beaten 1 yet. And if it's not better, at least it gets to the fucking point faster. Which is a statement, because it takes for fucking ever for the game to get going. But it still did a better job holding my attention than Xenoblade 1 did. And then 3 came out, and that was just incredible. That did everything 2 did, but better. And then the definitive version of 1 came out, and I've played through that multiple times. I've tried multiple times to beat that game, and I still like I can't get through it. I don't know what it is. The game bores me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I just need to get past that hump. Yeah.
Like X was interesting, but it was nothing about the pacing about it, nothing about it, even though it is kind of slow. It was the part where it forces you to like raise the affinity with specific characters to progress the story. But it's like characters you've not used at all. Like you have to use them in combat or whatever to like raise your affinity. And you already have your favorite, like you have your party set up. You're good for any combat scenario you run into. You got your party for like 30 hours in that game. And then it says, hey, those characters you've not been using, well, you got to fucking get their rank up to progress the story. And I'm like, dude, fuck you. They're level 1. Like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to do this? Like, it's like that bad. And I'm like, what? Yeah. And then that's when I stopped. But
it's funny you mentioned that, because like the expansion for Xenoblade 2, Torna, the Golden Country,
yeah,
was almost the same shit.
See, that's
so the point of it is like, well, it's different. The point of it is like rallying like people behind your cause, and you need to like. So you're not just like building up affinity with your teammates. You're building up like affinity for like entire like towns and cities.
Yeah.
But you do that by doing individual quests for people, and you raise their individual affinity, and that raises the entire affinity for like the entire region or something. And the game will like lock you, like, hey, you need this much affinity for these places before you can continue. And it really pads out the game. But I can't imagine doing that for like party members. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah, you like have to add them to your party and then do combat, and then like your affinity goes up with them. And it's just fuckers you just have not been using because you already have like your favorite guys, and they work so well. And then they're like, oh well, now you got to use fucking this motherfucker and get their rank up. And it's just, and now
that's
done.
Crazy.
And then it does like a thing where it kind of does like this like Monster Hunter type thing where certain monsters drop certain ingredients and you need those to like do upgrades or some shit. It's been a while since I played it, but it'll tell you, hey, you need this specific thing, and then you have to like open the codex to know what monster drops that thing. And it'll tell you what region that monster is in, but it won't tell you the map is fucking huge. So it'll give you like a huge area of where this monster could spawn, but it's still like a huge fucking area. Like you still don't know. So that's another thing. It's like it doesn't really just give you a marker that says, hey, here's the monster that's gonna drop the thing you need. It's just
the game has a day-night cycle too, right? So like you could even be the wrong time of day to be like, looking for the monster, right?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the games have that. Like all the games have that. That's why I was like, I assume this one had it too.
Yeah. But it just like it requires you to do specific things and doesn't really give you the tools necessary to like do those things efficiently. And that's where I jumped off. And then I just assumed that every one of these games did that, and I just never wanted to deal with it. So I was like,
no,
fuck
I
it.
can tell you, like, try Xenoblade 2. Like, I think you'll like it. It's much better, I think. It's still Xenoblade 2 and 3 is like a tie for my favorite. Like 3 has the best combat. I think 2 might have a slightly better story. But I haven't played 2 in a minute, so I have to retry it to like really get that opinion in. But they're good games. I need to beat the first one. So I think before I like do any of that, I'm gonna try to beat the first one again. But no, they're good ass games. Maybe I will try an emulator and play this one because I haven't even tried this one yet. So
yeah, it works. It works on CMU. I copied all my data from my actual Wii U. I copied all my data from it and imported it into the emulator, and it all still works. So I can continue my saves. My saves are still there. My Nintendo Network account is still there. You can play online. I don't think any of these servers are up. They killed the Wii U recently, so I don't think any of this stuff works anymore. But
yeah, do you know if like, is there a way to like connect your tablet to your computers? That would be cool.
You can do external. There is a way to do that. I'm not sure how it works though, but I know you can do that.
I would love to do that. Just hook up like my the Wii U like gamepad to it. Hey, bud, look at you! You made a mess of your food.
It's just because most games just don't need it, so you can kind of just not. You can just play them like a real game.
Yeah, but the games that do need it though, like they need it. The games that do need it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Actually, you're right. Most games don't, because most games have like a mode to like, plug the controller into it and take out all the gamepad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to give it a try then. I'll check it out after I'm gonna try to beat the first Xenoblade now. Like you convinced me. I'm gonna try to beat the first one again before I start doing anything else. What's wrong, bud? Up. Okay. Oh, we got some game releases coming out. I don't have the list pulled up. Or yeah, can you go over it really quick? Because I can't find the list. Oh, here it is. July 11th. Yeah, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown Deluxe Edition for Switch.
So if you play one Ace Combat game in your life, let it be this one.
Yeah, you told me you love this one.
It's like, imagine Metal Gear, but fucking it's Ace Combat, and that's this game.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, you told me it's yeah, you told me it's like a dogfighting like political thriller written by Kojima. Like it feels like it was written by Kojima, and I was like, okay, I'm down.
It's just so intense. Like the soundtrack is fucking awesome. The action is awesome. Super fast paced. It just plays very, very well. And then on top of that, it's just super over the top, like story wise. This Kojima levels of crazy, and it's great.
I'm into it.
So coming to Switch, I'm interested to see how that. It's got to perform well. There's not a lot going on in these games, like visuals wise. You're just in the air. It's just planes and clouds and shit. So and like water. So.
I'm into it. I'm into it. We also got. Oh, I fucking lost it again. Here it is. Angerfoot dropping out on PC July 11th. Bleach, Brave Souls dropping on Switch. Hookah Haze dropping on PC and Switch. Muv-Luv Remastered. Muv-Luv Alternative Remastered. What? The same game? Parasol Stars.
So Parasol Stars is Bubble Bobble 3.
Like legit?
Yeah, legit Bubble Bobble 3. I think it's I don't know if it's ever came out outside of Japan. Well, it says from 1991.
Yeah.
But Bubble Bobble, man, I remember playing these games with my brother on the NES emulator back in the days.
I've never played Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, classic Bubble Bobble is fun. I don't know about these sequels, but Bubble Bobble 1 is the shit. Just super easy, super casual, not like complicated at all. Yeah, I've never looked at these sequels though, so I do not know. It's like way more shitty than Bubble Bobble. So anyway,
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. My son. I bought a trampoline for this kid, and all he wants to do is jump on the couch.
oh, you got the trampoline in.
Yeah, I did. I did, and it looks great. All he wants to do is jump on the couch. It drives me nuts. I'll put him in the trampoline. I'll start crying. Like, why, dude? I spent like $100-something in this trampoline.
Did I
just,
say
like,
that? Did I say that? I said that, like, yo, you get like a scratching post for your cat, but he still wants to scratch the sofa.
Yeah. So that's what happened here. He's climbing up on the couch and like throwing himself on it. And I'm like, dude, could you not? You have a trampoline to do that in, kid. Oh my god, you almost fell off the couch. I'm like catching him. I think I just need to let him fall and hurt himself. I keep catching him before he falls, and like I think he's like getting used to it.
Just let him fuck around and find out.
Oh, God. Okay, bud. Here, I'm gonna take him to the trampoline right now. Let's see what happens. Hey, bud, let's go jump on the trampoline. Jumping.
Yeah, you have to show him how it works.
Jumping. No, he knows how to use it. Like he can use it. He's jumping in it right now, but he does it for like 10 seconds, and he's like, "I'm gonna go jump on the couch again." Like he's doing it right now. I don't know if he's gonna stay in there though. Yeah. Yeah. I can't understand you, dude. Like. Okay, he's doing it right now, but
there you go.
He does it for like a couple minutes, and then he's like back to whatever else he wants to do.
Yeah, you just gotta like teach them. It's like you get a cat, you gotta shit in the litter box yourself, so the cat knows how it works.
Okay, now I wonder if I let me zip it up, if he's gonna lose his shit. There we go.
Princess Maker 2 Regeneration is coming out.
What is that?
It's mostly negative on Steam. So I feel like it doesn't matter what it is. It looks like it's bad. It's a life sim.
So there he is. He's done already.
It's a simulation childcare game. I feel like you don't need a simulation for that.
Yeah,
you
I don't need that.
In real life.
Fuck that. Like I don't need a simulation. I got a kid. So you got out of the trampoline, ran right back to the couch. Probably like jump on it. Let's see what he does here. Climb on the couch. And he's jumping on the couch again. No, stop! No jumping on the couch. If you want to jump, you can jump in here. This is for jumping. Jump. There you go. I guess I'd like teach him like the couch is not for jumping. I think he'll get the hang of it.
Yeah, so let him find out the hard way.
Yeah. I might have to. I don't want to. I don't want to let my kid get hurt, but
you have to, man. It's how they learn. Like, you know, don't touch the stove. You touch the stove, oh, that's hot. I'm not gonna do that again.
I remember once when I was a kid, there was like an open flame out, like a tiki torch or something. My mom was like, "Don't touch that." I remember in my brain, I was like, "I don't know what to fucking do," and I went and touched it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
That was a lifelong lesson right there.
Oh my god, dude! Like, so for years, I have a problem. People telling me not to do something. So let me rephrase that. I got a problem following a process, but I don't understand why the process is the way it is. So, like, for example, my mom was like, "Oh, if something's too hot, don't put it in the fridge." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "You just don't do that." And I was like, "Okay, that's not a good answer. I'm not going to follow that now."
Yeah, it's not a good answer.
Yeah. And it wasn't until years later my wife tried to do the same thing. I was like, "Okay, why?" He's like, oh, because it's hot. It's going to get everything else hot. You put everything in the fridge to cool it down. So if it's hot, it heats up everything else and it fucks up the fridge. And I'm like, okay, now I have an answer for that. I won't do it again. So you can't tell me that's just the way it is, because I don't accept that. I'm like, okay, well, if you can give me a good reason, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Like sometimes it just has to be like explained just a little bit for you to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Kaku Ancient Seal. This game actually looks kind of interesting.
What is it? I can't look at the strings. I'm watching my kid, but yeah.
It's an indie game that looks like it looks like one of those PS2 like 3D platformers. You know, like Tack and the Power of Juju, or you know, like one of those games like I Ninja. Like one of those like low budget like AA, or you know, one of those like B games. Looks like a PS2 B game almost.
I'm into that.
It's real high quality. It's like made in Unreal Engine, so it's got like a low quality to it. Yeah, looks good. It'll be early access. So it's okay.
It looks cool. I'm watching it right now. It looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
We need more like, I miss that like PS2 like jank game era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like coming back. Well, like you know the like PS1 aesthetic. There's like tons of games coming out that like look like that, like a PS1 game. You know, I feel like Signalis really started that trend, and kind of everyone's like running away with it. You know, you get like the Bloodborne card.
And, you got Signalis, Bloodborne card. There's a new game that came out, Crow Country.
Yeah.
Oh my God, kid. He's just like jumping around. I'm like, oh my God, kid. I didn't give him any sugar today. I gave him some apple juice, but I always cut it with water because I know how he gets.
Oh yeah.
That's why I bought the trampoline, so I can burn some energy on that, but he just refused to stay in it for more than a couple minutes. Hey, hi.
B project, where you say Fantasia.
Wait, what?
It's a visual novel. Moving on.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah, moving on.
Darkest Dungeon 2.
Darkest Dungeon 2. Okay, that one. That's a hot item, right? Like.
I thought that was out already. I guess.
Guess not.
Yeah. I guess when consoles coming. Maybe, but it doesn't even say that on Steam page.
Oh yeah, I don't know then.
Maybe it's just console. It's coming to consoles on Monday.
There we go. I'm gonna go pick that up if you're a fan. I never played the first one. I think I would like it, but I don't know.
I tried it. It was a little more than what I was looking for.
Yeah.
A little too management-y.
Oh yeah. I'm good.
Cataclysmo. It's a base building horror game.
Cataclysmo. Sounds interesting. I'll check it out. And then we got, what is this one? Deliver Us the Moon? For Switch? Oh my God, kids, you're making me so nervous.
Sci-fi thriller set in apocalyptic near future.
Well, I haven't heard that before.
It's got RTX on support.
That's cool. Oh my God, kid.
I'm always intrigued by these space games, but they never
ever deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with like a space game, and I feel like nothing like really like hits the potential for a space game. Oh well, bummer. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, sweep the board. A Demon Slayer Mario Party game for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
Like,
I think this came to Switch earlier, and now it's coming to everything else.
Yeah. Evil v Evil. What is that? It's like a sequel to Alive Alive? No, it's not. What is this? It's like a shooter? A PvE vampire shooter? Okay, so fucking what's that arcane game that came out? Red Dawn?
Redfall.
Okay, so Redfall, but like good?
It actually does look like it actually does look like Redfall. I think
it
this
straight
one
up looks like Redfall, yeah.
Yeah, I think this one's like focusing more on the actual shooting and less on these trailers suck. Show me the game, Jesus. Ramirez. Okay, so it does have heroes.
Bud, what are you doing? Trying to rip off my headset.
Yeah, like the thing about Redfall is I wanted it to be more like Borderlands-y or like Far Cry, or even, you know, what we thought was going to be like a Left 4 Dead. It turns out it was like none of the above.
Yeah. It was like Destiny, but shittier.
Yeah.
Which is like huge bummer, because like there's potential there.
Yeah.
Like a live service PvE open world game made by Arcane. Like that sounds awesome. On paper. Execution, dog shit.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see how this turns out. The idea is not bad, and I think that's why these guys are attempting to do it correctly. The shooting looks
the
good.
idea is cool.
See, this game does what Redfall should have done, is like have a shitload of fuckers on the screen. Just have less mobs of enemies and just let me just kill them in fun ways. Like, this looks cool.
Yeah, that looks like fun. I can see myself having some fun with that. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
If it's like worth anything. Okay, up next. I'm trying to wrestle with my kid right now. Let's see. Flock. Okay, Hot Lap Racing. Let's School. Magical Delicacy. Then July 17th, we got Nobody Wants to Die. That is true. I don't think anyone wants to die.
People were talking about this game. I don't know anything about it, but I've saw it's been buzzing a little bit. It is a 3D detective dystopian thriller noir.
Looks cool, but like I need something more gameplay focused.
New York 2329. I mean, it's gameplay. It's like detective gameplay. Manipulate time.
Oh, okay. What's up, bud? Hey. This looks cool. You also got Riviera, The Promised Land. What is that? It's a 2D platformer. This is what it says in the description. It looks like a turn-based RPG.
JRPG 2D platformer.
It's like a GBA game.
Is it a re-release? Yeah, it looks old.
The long-awaited Riviera, The Promised Land is back with many added features for easier play. Okay, so this might have been like an older game, just re-released.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, you can tell, it looks like they're running this on an emulator with the blending turned on with like a shader. Like one of those shaders that like blends the pixels. It looks like shit.
Yeah, I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. I think it's a GBA game. Yep, it came on the Game Boy Advance.
Okay.
Back in 2002. Oh shit. That GBA version. Hold on. 1 second.
Oh, it's got like real-time commands, like Mario RPG type shit.
Yeah. So the GBA version was a re-release. It came out in 2005, 2004 in Japan. It was so it was a Wonder Swan color game.
Wow.
They got a re-release on the GBA. They got an enhanced remake on the PSP. that now has an HD remaster. Yeah.
It's been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, a game like that must be good if they're like, I would say if they like re-release or remaster like one game out of a franchise, it's got to be like, that's got to be the one good game in that franchise. So like this must be good if they like keep porting it.
It's gotta be.
I'll throw it in the
I
wish
wonder
list.
which version that this HD remaster is like based on. Is it based on the PSP version or the Game Boy Advance version? It says it has additional features and additional content. Is that additional content relative to the PSP version or is it relative to the GBA version?
I would hope that it has all of the content from like every version.
You'd think so, but the Persona 3 remake didn't, so...
Yeah, true. But they have to have an option to turn off this like shader because it just looks bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
Like, give me the original pixel.
Yeah, that GBA like pixel blending looks awful. I never liked the way that looked.
Yeah, it's something that emulators do. You can like turn those shaders on and like make it do that. Some of them work better than others. Like some of them are actually good, but some of them is just like it tries to approximate shit that's not really there. You know.
My problem is that it makes it look like a Flash game. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not to say Flash is bad, but you know what I mean. There's a certain like quality associated with Flash that like gives me the wrong impression. I mean, this looks interesting. I'll check it out. I'll just emulate the PSP version. And last but not least, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Splinter Fate, aka Hades with Ninja Turtles.
Oh right, that's this game.
Yeah.
Super Evil Megacorp is the when your company is named Super Evil Megacorp. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's tongue in cheek about it, but yeah, this looks dope. It's such a good idea to do like a Hades Ninja Turtles thing and multiplayer.
Yeah, it's up to 4 players. I actually played this game on so fun fact, this is an Apple Arcade exclusive game before it got released on everything. So that's where I played it on. It's pretty dope, dude. I need a controller to play it with because it plays like shit on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little bit I play, it's pretty fun. I can see myself getting super into it, especially if it drops on Switch. Like, I can see myself getting super into it.
Yeah, let's see if it has like cross-platform. No mention of that. Yeah.
Not right here. Features cross-platform multiplayer.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Fucking awesome. That's going on the
wish list. That is awesome. Now, dude, stop biting the couch. What are you doing? I gave him food. He didn't want to eat it. And now he's like trying to eat the couch. I wonder if it's cross-platform with like the iOS version. Like if I can play that with you when it drops on like everything.
That would be. I would kick you out of my party if you're on iPhone.
I'm gonna get a controller. Like, I found out I can cast my iPhone to the TV and use a controller to play it. So I think I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet, so there's probably gonna be some like hella lag, but I'll try it. But yeah, that's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, our guest. I can't see the chat right now, so I can't remember his username.
FW.
Yeah. FW, did you ever drop like your favorite game, man?
He didn't say. He said watch Oxenfree. Which I do have the second game. I was avoiding streaming it because I just don't like streaming those games, those types of games, because you want people to play it. You're not going to play it if you just watch it because that's all there is.
Yeah, those games are like where the story is like the most important part. Like there's a moral obligation, I think, not to stream those.
Yeah. Even when I did, when I put up Oxenfree, I put down in the thing like, hey, they're having a sale, or hey, they added more content to the game, so you should check it out. I put that all in this description so people can check it out themselves. But anyway, that's gonna do it here for video game discussion, guys. You can go to Gameoverse.com. Gameoverse.com/Twitch. Gameoverse.com/YouTube. Gameoverse.com/Discord. FW said they joined the Discord, just like you should. By going to Gameoverse.com/Discord. Hop in there and talk about video games with us. Play video games with us. If you're playing something, hop on that Zenless Zone Zero and let's level up our characters together. I don't think that game actually has any real multiplayer except in like the shitty arcade. There's like shitty arcade games where you could play like Snake with like 4 player. I think, I don't know. Maybe I haven't gone far enough, but that's it.
Damn, I'll check it out. I'm not gonna check it out. I'm not even gonna promise that because I know I'm not gonna check it out. But yeah, everybody, be safe, be cool, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.